Hello, today we will be taking a look at our ASM 300 ProGen probe device. We will begin this tutorial by linking your email to the device in order to send email results to your customers. Begin by opening up the settings and clicking on Account under the Settings option. You will then be displayed with a list to choose from to add an account for your email. To double check that your account is set up, click on Google under Settings and you should see your account information. Make sure your date and time is set up accordingly. To do this, we are going to go under Settings and scroll down to Date and Time. This is where you will input your time zone information and set up the correct date. To connect to Wi-Fi, please click on the Settings option in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. You will then choose Wi-Fi, which will display a list of Wi-Fi connections in your area that you can connect to. Please open up your secondary device and go into the Wi-Fi settings. On the ASM device, you will click on the Analyzer option in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, and then you will go into General Settings and see the Wi-Fi mirroring code. This code will be the name of the Wi-Fi network that you must connect to when mirroring. Once you are connected to the mirroring code, you will open up your ARAM viewer software and click on the Start option to begin mirroring. Next, we will be taking a look at Analysis Settings. Click on Settings and choose Analysis Settings. By clicking on the different options below, you will be able to adjust which analysis you are doing. You want to make sure you stay consistent with checking for updates. In Settings, if you go under the About section, you'll be able to check for updates to make sure that your device is always updated. You will also have the option to choose automatic updates as well as seeing the most recent version that your ASM device has. You will need a computer in order to upload product recommendations onto your device. Swipe down from the home screen on your ASM device to choose USB for charging. You will then choose File Transfer on the device. Once your device is plugged into the computer using a USB cord, you will be able to locate the hard drive that is connected to the device. Please choose the internal storage option and choose Pictures. We recommend having all of your pictures ready for product recommendation. Select and drag all of the appropriate pictures into the folder. These pictures will transfer onto your device, so you will be able to place them in the appropriate product recommendations. To choose the appropriate pictures for product recommendation, go under the Settings option and click on Recommended Product. This will display all of the different slots that you will be able to drag pictures onto for recommendations. You can click on each individual box, which will open up the Photos section for you to choose which photo you'd like to place in the box. Now we will look at creating a client profile. Choose the Customer option on the home screen to open up your CRM. This will display your current customer list as well as allow you to create a new customer. Click on the plus sign on the top right-hand corner to create a new customer profile where you will input their first and last name, age group, gender, email, skin type, and group. You can also add special notes to the memos box. You are now ready to begin the analysis. You can go into Customer to choose the client that you would like to do an analysis on. Once you have selected their profile, you can click on the microscope icon in the top right-hand corner. You can also begin by clicking on the Analysis button in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. For optimal results, please make sure your client is not wearing any makeup during the skin analysis. The first analysis measured will be moisture and elasticity. This analysis is best measured in the cheek region, where you will press the lens to the client's face. The device will display the results as reading moist and high. To navigate to the next analysis, you will simply swipe over to bring you to sebum. You will be using 2 sebum strips per client in order to measure the U zone and the T zone. Using one of the strips, press gently on the forehead and use another one to press gently on the cheek. You will use the device to take pictures of the sebum strip as shown here. The next analysis we will be looking at is pore. This analysis is most often taken on the cheek region of your client's face. Once you've taken your client's picture, you can click on the microscope on the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, which will give you your analyzed results. You can also compare sample pictures to show your client good, normal, and enlarged pores. Clicking on the box option below the picture will allow you to view a 3D image of your client's pores and texture. Next, we will be taking a look at melanin. This will be measuring any dark spots or pigmentation on your client. Here you can focus on any location where your client may have sun damage or hyperpigmentation. Once you've taken your picture, you'll again choose the analysis button to analyze the results. You can also view sample pictures of different melanin. Next, we move on to acne, which will use a special light to point out any excess sebum or acne bacteria in your client's skin. You can focus on the nose or chin area here, or any cheek area your client is suffering with acne. Once you take your picture and choose Analyze, the results will be displayed. Taking a look at wrinkle, we want to focus on the eye area or the crow's feet. Here I have my client smile in order to exaggerate the results, but typically you will want your client to have a resting face. This analysis is going to measure depth of the wrinkle and allow you to view the depth in 3D. As we move on to sensitivity, this will be measuring any redness or sensitivity in the skin. You can focus on any area where your client is experiencing irritation or sensitivity. Again, please make sure your client has a clean face and is not wearing makeup during the skin analysis. Once you are finished with the analysis, you will move on to summary to view the results of your client. Here you will be displayed with a graph that shows you your client's star rating for each result, as well as giving you the option to click on the different categories to show recommended products. This will give you an overview of the results, and please make sure the age group is specific to your client. You may also click on the three dots on the bottom right-hand corner of the screen to send your emailed results. Once you choose Send Email, a composed email will display with the attachment of your client's results, where you will input their email address to send to them. Once you are finished with your analysis, please make sure you save as customer analysis data unless you do not want to save the finished analysis in your client's profile. As we move on to hair analysis, please make sure you have the appropriate lenses for each analysis. Please see the demonstration on how to attach the lens properly. Once you are ready to begin, you will click on Analysis and begin with the first analysis, which is hair loss status. For this analysis, you will not be using a magnified lens. You will be taking a picture from the top and side of your client's profile to determine any noticeable hair loss or thick parts. Please choose the appropriate corresponding image that best matches your client's hair loss status. Once you are done, you will click the check mark in the top right-hand corner where you will be displayed with your results. Moving on, we swipe over to scalp status, where we will be taking a look at the overall health of your client's scalp. This analysis will be using the 202 lens, which is mentioned on the analysis screen. You will want to focus on your client's scalp to get a clear picture of their scalp health. Once your picture is taken, click on the Analysis button on the bottom left-hand corner to view different sample pictures of scalp health. You can see here the different categories to choose from when looking at your client's overall scalp health. Please choose the image that best matches your client's photo with the sample photos provided. Once you have chosen the appropriate image, click the check mark on the top right-hand corner to view your results. Next, we will be moving on to hair density, which is going to count the number of hairs on your client's scalp. You will be using the 202 lens to take a picture of your client's scalp. Once you've taken your picture, you will click on the Analysis button, and a screen will display where you will be counting the hairs you see growing out of your client's scalp. Here you will choose from 1, 2, or 3 to count the hairs individually on your client's scalp. This will determine your client's hair density by giving an average amount of hairs per square centimeter. Please make sure you do not count any hairs that are going across the screen and only hairs that you can see physically growing out of your client's scalp. As you can see, the standard value is over 120, and based off of this photo, our client is at 125 hairs per square centimeter. Next, we take a look at keratin of the scalp, which will be measuring any product buildup, dandruff, or residue on your client's scalp. This analysis will still be using the 202 lens, and we will be taking a picture on the client's scalp. Once your picture is taken, you can click on the Analysis button, which will provide different sample photos of dandruff in your client's scalp. Please select the image that best corresponds with your client's photo and choose the check mark option at the top. Next, we move on to scalp sensitivity, which will be taking a look at any redness or irritation on your client's scalp. Once your picture has been taken, you can click on the Analysis option and compare to different sample photos for sensitivity. Once you have chosen the best photo, you will click the check mark at the top and be displayed with your results. Moving on to hair thickness, we will be switching lenses to the 203 lens. Please refer to the demonstration on how to properly switch the lens. For this analysis, we want to grab a few strands of hair and place them on our fingertip to take a clear photo of your client's hair thickness. For dark hair, you will be able to automatically analyze the hair thickness by choosing Auto. Auto will allow you to click on each individual hair and it will automatically measure the hair thickness. If your client has light hair, you will have to choose the manual option to drag and manually measure the hair thickness. The results will provide you a measurement in millimeters to determine your client's hair thickness. You can see the standard measurement is 0.075. Once you complete all 5 measurements, you'll get an average total for hair thickness of your client's hair. Next, we move on to hair pore status, where we will also be using the 203 lens. Here we want to focus on the hair pores and directly around the hair pore. Once you've taken your picture, you can click on Analysis and compare between several options and categories. After choosing the picture that best matches your client's photo, you'll click the check mark in the top right-hand corner, which will display your results. As we move on to cuticle status, we're going to switch the lens one last time to the 204 lens. Grabbing a few strands of hair, you want to place them on your finger and take a photo of the hair cuticle. You can focus on the top or the bottom of your client's hair, depending on damage. Once you've taken your photo, you can click on the analysis option and look at a variety of different sample photos for damaged, slightly damaged, and extremely damaged hair. Cuticle status completes the analysis, and you will swipe over to view the summary, to recommend products, and to send an email of your client's results. To click on the appropriate recommended products, click on the category of the results that you're viewing, and then choose the 3 dots on the bottom right-hand corner to show the recommended product. This is also where you will be able to send an email to your client. To end the analysis, you can click on the back button on the device and save into customer data to choose which client you'd like to save the analysis into. If you'd like to view instead of doing a full analysis, you can click on the View option and choose from the different categories above, such as scalp status, hair density, cuticle status. Clicking on the screen, it will activate the camera and you will be able to do a sample photo for your client as opposed to doing a full analysis. You will want to make sure you have the correct lens corresponding with the category that you are focusing on. For instance, in view mode with cuticle status, we will be using the 203 lens. To view images on the device, you will click on the button on the bottom left corner of the screen, second from the outside, to view images, as well as send an email or send them to yourself via Bluetooth. This is where you will be able to find all of the photos taken as well as the recommended products that we uploaded onto the device earlier. Thank you so much for watching. We hope this helped, and if you have any questions, please feel free to visit us at www.progenprobe.com or visit us on Instagram at progenprobe. Thank you so much.